1,000 years ago, a monk fleeing from an army carried something in his pocket that would change Christmas forever. Stay with me because this story involves a 7-year fast, wild honey, and a recipe that launched an empire. It's 991 AD, and Archbishop Gregory Markar is running for his life. The Persian army has invaded Nicopolis, a city in what's now Turkey, and Gregory has no choice but to flee. He's exhausted, terrified, traveling thousands of miles across Europe with nothing but the clothes on his back and the knowledge in his head, including a recipe from his Armenian homeland. After weeks of travel, Gregory arrives in the Loire Valley region of France. He finds an abandoned church near the town of Pithiviers and asks local officials for permission to stay. They agree, and Gregory becomes a hermit, choosing to live in a tiny cave barely larger than his own body. For 7 years, he has lived like this, fasting for 4 days every single week and eating only what he can hold in his left hand on the other days. His main foods are wild roots, lentils soaked in sun-warmed water, and the one thing the Loire Valley has in abundance, wild honey. But Gregory isn't just surviving, he's experimenting. He remembers the spiced honey cakes from his homeland in Armenia. He has access to wild honey here in France. And slowly, patiently, he recreates something from memory. He boils the honey until it's pure and golden. He adds the exotic spices he's brought with him: ginger, cinnamon, pepper, spices most Europeans have never even heard of. He mixes in breadcrumbs until the mixture becomes thick and moldable. The result is what we'd call medieval gingerbread, though it's nothing like what you're imagining. It's not a cookie, it's not a cake. It's a dense, sweet confection, almost like candy, flavored with spices that most people in 10th century France considered medicine, not food. The result is what we'd call medieval gingerbread, though it's nothing like what you're imagining. It's not a cookie, it's not a cake. It's a dense, sweet confection, almost like candy, flavored with spices that most people in 10th century France considered medicine, not food. Word spreads about the holy hermit living in the cave. People start visiting Gregory: wealthy merchants, poor peasants, curious priests. And Gregory, following the ancient tradition of Armenian hospitality, offers them something at the end of every visit: a piece of his spiced honey cake. Think about this moment. These French visitors have never tasted anything like this before. The honey is sweet, yes, but the spices create warmth that spreads through your whole body. The ginger has a bite, the pepper tingles, the cinnamon wraps everything in comfort. One taste, and they're hooked. Gregory starts teaching his visitors how to make it themselves. French priests become his students. He shares his recipe freely, generously, never keeping it secret. A 10th century manuscript from the nearby Mickey Abbey records that Gregory makes by hand cake with honey and spices, just like in his homeland. When Gregory dies in 999 AD, after living in that tiny cave for 7 years, something remarkable happens. The people of Pithiviers don't let his recipe die with him. They keep making his gingerbread. Generation after generation, century after century. By the 13th century, gingerbread had spread across Europe. It's so popular that professional guilds formed, groups of bakers who specialize only in gingerbread. In the 17th century, these guilds became so powerful that they made rules. Only professional gingerbread bakers could make gingerbread, except during Christmas and Easter, when everyone got to bake. Today, over 1,000 years later, the town of Pithiviers still honors Gregory. They have a St. Gregory of Nicopolis gingerbread brotherhood that makes gingerbread according to the recipe passed down by St. Gregory the Armenian. From one monk fleeing persecution to every gingerbread cookie you've ever eaten, every gingerbread house you've ever built, every gingerbread latte you've ever sipped, it all traces back to Gregory, alone in his cave, missing his homeland, and recreating the flavors that reminded him of home. Want to taste what Gregory made? Here's his recipe simplified for your kitchen. Gently boil 2 cups of honey for 10 minutes, skimming off any foam. Remove from heat. Stir in 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and a pinch of ground cloves. Add 3 to 4 cups of dried breadcrumbs, 1 cup at a time, until it's thick enough to hold its shape. Press the mixture into a pan about 1/2 inch deep. Let it cool for an hour, cut into small squares. Press a whole clove into the center of each piece. Dust with cinnamon and sugar if you like. It tastes nothing like modern gingerbread. It's more like spiced honey candy, but it's Gregory's gift to the world. One monk, one cave, one recipe that traveled 1,000 years. Before you go, think about the recipes in your family, the ones that came from somewhere else, that survived because someone remembered, someone cared enough to teach, someone wrote it down. Maybe it's your grandmother's recipe that she brought from another country. Perhaps it's a dish your father learned from his mother. Maybe it's something you created that your children now ask for. These recipes aren't just food. They're memory made edible. They're love you can taste. They're legacy preserved in flour, spice, and technique. Have you written down your family's recipes? Not just the ingredients, but the stories behind them. Who taught you? Why does it matter? What memories come flooding back when you smell it cooking? These stories won't preserve themselves. Your grandchildren deserve to know that the cookies they love came from their great-great-grandmother who fled persecution, just like Gregory, or that the special holiday dish connects them to a homeland they've never seen. What's your family's gingerbread? What recipe carries your history? Please write it down today. If stories like Gregory's move you, if you love discovering how simple acts of generosity change the world, join the History Sparks community. Subscribe to this channel because every day we uncover another moment when one person's courage, kindness, or creativity sparked something that lasts forever. Hit subscribe. Tomorrow we're revealing another moment that shaped the world you live in.